Basically, here's the thing: technology is not your greatest problem. Sin is. And technology is not your savior. Jesus is. And the problems arise, I think, as we think about this area whenever we treat technology as our greatest problem. And when we think that it's this stuff around us that's causing us to stumble and causing us to sin. Because what we do is we think, oh, if only I avoid it, then I'll be able to live a holier life. If we retreat from the big bad world, then we'll draw closer to the good things and the things that are good for us. The truth is, no matter how far we retreat, we can never retreat from our biggest problem. Because you remember what Jesus says, it's not from outside of us comes the problem, it's from within us. So even if I drive off into the wilderness where there's no technology, I can't escape the problem. I can't escape the heart that's beating within me. And it's that heart that leads me to wander away. It's the heart within me that leads me to all sorts of problems. So I can't escape that. I can't cut that out. Do you remember what Jesus says in the Gospels? He says, if your hand causes you to sin, then cut it off. Or if your eye causes you to sin, then gouge it out. But that's a massive if, because these things don't cause us to sin. What is it that causes us to sin? It's our heart. We need it gouged out and a new one put in. And that's exactly what happens in the Gospel. So if we think our greatest problem, if we're a waster, a loser, no offence, but if you're spending your days wasting time playing Black Ops or whatever it's called on the Xbox, sitting in your pajamas till lunchtime or 3 o'clock, you might say, oh, my greatest problem is this Xbox. No, it's not. It's that lazy heart, that wandering lazy heart that's within you. Or if you're a terrible gossip, don't be blaming Facebook or Twitter. It's your gossiping heart. Or if you're a big show-off, don't blame Instagram. What makes me take pictures? No, it's your big show-off heart. And it's the gospel that saves us from this. The other thing is that we can embrace technology like it's our greatest saviour. It's not our saviour. Jesus is our saviour. And I think there are many things about technology that help us in our Christian lives. I think there are many things that help us in mission and evangelism in the Christian life. There are some great Bible apps, and there are some great uses for technology and mission and outreach, and even things within technology that can help us as a church community. And when these things come along, we're early adopters in the church, and we can often embrace them like they're our greatest salvation, but they're not. Jesus is. A whole lot of the time they can become a great big distraction. Technology keeps telling me that it has the killer app, the app that will do everything. Oh, we've got an app for that. Truth is, there isn't an app for gospel growth. I'm actually delighted about that, because that's an area in my life where I can grow, because the Spirit, God's Spirit, is within me and causes me to grow, that I can grow in spite of technology, despite all the things that surround me. That's really good news. And it drives me again to the gospel. It's a fine line, but I'm convinced that all of the problems in my life, they're caused by sin, and they're addressed by the gospel. So I'm looking forward to coming in April and thinking through some 21st century realities. And I love spending time doing that, and I hope you can join us for that hour or hour and a bit on the day, and we can think through some of these things together.